Hi and welcome back to the Restoration Shack. If you've not joined me before, my name is Mark and I work on a few bits. You might see some of my other videos where I'm doing the 56 Beetle restoration. I also do lowriders and I've not done one for a bit. I've been waiting for this one. I'll be honest, I thought I'd try and cut some corners with this. So this is actually been painted and lacquered, and what I did have is one of these. I'll get it for you. I got a frame from the States, already painted, thinking that'll save me some time, and the lesson of the day is don't cut corners. So basically, just a word of warning, if any of you guys do buy an American frame, be aware that the headset here is different. So this is an inch, and I think this is an American inch or US inch, and actually it's probably less, it's more like 7/8 or something like that, 3/4 of an inch. It's wrong. So any of the UK bearings don't fit. I've been all over the UK online trying to find some bearings. The only ones I can get are in the US, which are very cheap, about $4, but then you're paying about $30–40 to ship it across. So I thought, and they're out of stock when I looked. So basically that to me is scrap. Just a word of warning, don't spend like £100 US UK on a frame if you haven't got the correct bearings. So basically I went and painted this. I had a friend of mine then clear coat it and lacquer it so it's all nice and protected and very high gloss. So I'm going to start on the rebuild. This is sort of like the big build project that I've been talking about for months. I'll be honest, I'm going to give a bit away. It's from a music video, a very popular, in my opinion, a popular music video. A Mancunian singer. Was in a band, so I'm not going to give any more than that. You guys can go away and research or put in the comments below who you think or what video you think it's from. But I'm going to start the build now, try and get the bottom end built, get the front forks on, and this is going to be basically an exact copy or a tribute. This is I've researched everything down to the grips, the tyres, how it's all been set, etc. So this will be literally like for like when it's done. So let's get on, further ado. So all the parts I've got are either new or I've basically refurbished them for this. So I'm going to put the bearing carriers in first, for the bottom bracket. Might be a bit tough because the paint's going to be quite thick. Again. Oh, unfortunately it's very cold as well, so my fingers are not working too well, so I'm trying to hold this and I'm dropping it because it's that cold in here. One. I've got a piece of cloth around this just to protect the paintwork so I don't scratch it when I'm turning it and moving it. So the issue I had before was with these carriers for the headset, and literally no matter what I did, I even tried to slice the bearing carriers and put them in, they weren't going in. Then I did the measurement and thought, hang on, this is different even though it says it's an inch, but there's that kind of US UK where a gallon's different and etc etc. But we got there in the end. So that's a scary bit done. Scared of hitting the frame with any sort of hammer. I think next we can get, I think we'll get the front suspension on, so it's all new stuff. As I say, the bearing cups I've reused because I had them, but everything else is sort of new, so we'll get these on. This is the front suspension which I've shown you before. I think what I'll do is I'll probably strip it down and take the tension off by taking the crown and the supports off, then I can just get the up. I'll put plenty of grease on them to protect it. Just put that in. I'm going to put a bit on the top, basically using like a white spray grease. What I'll probably have to do as well is when I put the suspension on, maybe just drape a cloth around it, because otherwise it'll end up knocking into the frame and I don't want to get that going straight off. That as I've gone through before, the bolt side is 17mm, and then the nut side is usually 14 on a proper setup. And then we've got, how you do it is you have the crown, then the lower support going in, and then the upper support, and that goes on the inside of there, but then usually on the outside of the bottom there. Let me show you that. Hopefully you can see it's kind of got a square lug on it. I don't know, I can hold that to show you. There's a square lug, and that then sits inside a square peg in there. And these should always be 13mm, these top nuts on here. Now if you ever buy a low-rider bike, you find out that when you're trying to ride it and test ride it, it rides really badly, it's sloppy. What you'll find usually is that either A, these top nuts are loose, or B, this bridge section here is loose, so it allows all the sort of components to wobble, and then it makes it difficult to ride. So tightening that and those usually cures most riding issues or sort of stability issues. I've had it occasionally where the back wheel, the hub, has come loose as well. The kind of lock nuts on it have come loose, and that allows the back wheel to wobble when you're pedalling. Usually top, that one, and very rarely, but occasionally, is the top of the bolt on top of the headset there is loose. So, as with most things when I'm starting to do videos, something external changes. So, as you might have seen with the Beetle that I've got, and I've got the SLK which you've seen me work on, and I'm doing the bikes, the workshop is basically a double garage. So one of them has to go outside, and this time I thought, oh, I'll put the Beetle outside, it's dry, yeah, it doesn't stay like that, so it's now a torrential downpour, so the Beetle's wet through and it's got holes in it. So I've had to bring that sort of half in, half out, bring all the sort of bike equipment and camera equipment to the back of the workshop. So it's a bit cramped. I'm actually now falling over my tool chest here, but yeah, get this in, and it might be a bit noisy as well because I've got the door half open, trying to keep the Beetle covered a little bit, but you'll hear traffic noise. It's not ideal. You know, I don't know whether I should get rid of something, but at the minute I want to keep both, so I'm definitely doing the Beetle up. So we'll get there. We'll get a bit more space one day, but for now, just keep plugging on. So, got the bearing race in there. That spins nice. Then you have the like a lock washer, and then finally the lock nut. So apologies for background interference such as rain, cars, etc. But it's where we are. Sure, one day I'll get a big fancy workshop, put loads of cars in, loads of bikes, loads of workspace, but we'll keep going until we get to that. Bit tight, so just as before, we just usually loosen it off a little bit, take a little bit off the bearing carrier, and then lock it back. That's it. It's good. I've got bits of lighting and wiring everywhere as well, interfering with stuff. Let's get it off shot. I'm looking at putting some new wiring in as well, new lighting in to try and give us some lighting from above as well. So anyway, less mutterings, more bike work. So I think we'll get the seat post in. The wheels I've got, I'm just waiting on some tyres because the bike in the video doesn't have lowrider stamp tyres, it's just plain white walls, so I'm just waiting on those to arrive. But I'll go and have a look at see what we've got in the pile as well. Easy fix. Got the stem in. I've got the bars and I've got the grips as well. I'll put the bars on last, I think, because obviously the height of everything going up here. So again, just as I'm going through, let you know. So they're usually the bolt in the top of the handlebar stem is a 13 to lock it in, like that. And the seat post bolt. The washer and the nut. Again, that's usually a 13mm. Right. I just need to reference. So this bike doesn't have the standard banana seat, it has one of these on it, fully chromed seat. So I've just got some sort of shipping oil on it or something. It's been in the bag for a long time, so I think I'll put it on. I'm probably going to have to put some chrome cleaner on. It's sort of like ballooned a little bit, but with some chrome cleaner that's going to come off. It looks bad from here, but like I say, if I put some chrome cleaner on once I've done, it's just like, must be like an oil that they've put it on. Again, this should be, I think, 13 mil memory serves. So this seat is obviously aftermarket. If I remember rightly, actually from the video, it is absolutely on the floor with it. So we'll loosen this. I might as well set the position of the seat now. Next off, this one has one of the kick out sissy bars. So instead of just being straight down, it has this kind of back end that kicks out on it. Just need to find. And the bottom bolts, the bottom fasteners. And these are usually 10 mil. Same with the tops, they are usually either a Phillips screw or a 10 mil bolt. So I'm just going to position it for now. I just need to just reference how the other accessories are bolted on and where they're bolted on. That's looking good so far. It's good. Right, let's see what else we've got. Okay, so let's carry on. For you guys it might have only been a few seconds, for me it's actually been a couple of weeks. I think where I was just filming before, we had a torrential downpour. I've got the Beetle outside, so everything's getting wet through. Just as you've seen earlier in the video, the workshop is a mess. I can't move for stuff, but I've got to keep getting the, I want to get this bike done, keep giving you guys some content, hopefully give you ideas as well on your builds. So in the meantime, what I've done is I've put the new tyres on. These are correct Duro tyres for this bike, for this build, and rather than having the stamped with lowrider on them, these are just plain white walls. Got a little bit of a bump there, so I'm going to have to just jimmy that in. It looks like it's just come away there, so I'll get that put on. But that's the front one, and these don't have a hub brake on the front. These are just standard solid hub, and then I've obviously got the coaster rear. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll just bolt the front one on, because there's going to be quite a lot of hardware going on the back. So as always, we've got, I'll just show you just a minute, you have like a locking tab there that locks the wheel in place. Then you have this washer and then the nut, and it usually goes lower arm, then the support. So in between the lower arm and the support I put that locker, because it usually sits in a little hole inside the frame there and does that. And then that kind of holds it all in place. So I'll just bang this on now, and then we'll get onto this back one. Okay, so I've put the front wheel on, as you saw. There's no fenders on this bike because there's none on the actual bike. This has been a tribute to, so it's just pure, just struts and then the wheels. Now on the back it's a little bit different. There's no fender on the back, but it has what's called a Continental kit, or part of a Continental kit. Now Continental kit consists of an upright and a lower, so it kind of sits like that on the seat and the wheel, and then it has like a support there which you hang a spare wheel in, so it's basically made to look like American Continentals. I think the Lincoln had one. It has this kind of spare wheel but in the back, like the lowrider guys do. So that is on this bike not there, so that goes to one side, but I do need the nuts and bolts off it because for some reason this just has the upper and lower supports, and then has part of a fender bracket, or has the fender support, which I'll show you in a minute. Just get these off. So that piece is not used, so if anybody's after just that piece, I've got one. And then it has this, which is just a fender support. You'd usually have two of these, one kicking out the back, maybe one at the top, and on the front you have either one or two. And that just kind of will sit sticking out the back as a, I don't know if it's just used as a bumper. It's kind of a weird setup, but it looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put these together, and then put that together, hopefully without dropping it. Get this together, and then we can start putting this onto the bike. Now I might have to just loosen this back sissy bar clamp off, because I think we're not going to get quite through there, so I might have to just reposition that a little bit better. It might even go up on the upper one, I don't know, just see how it all seats together. So that's one of them, and that'll sit just in there like that. And I mean, even by this you may even be able to tell, what, if you haven't guessed it already, what video the bike's from. And then the other one, just get that together. And then we'll get this put onto the wheel, so it might be a bit tricky with trying not to block the camera and all that, but I'll do what I can. Just get my spanner, and apologies still for the car noise, but I've got the Beetle slightly nosed out of the workshop today, just because it's fine, it's cold, but it's fine at least. The wheel. Now, to be honest, I think this is going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to get all this fastened in, because there's a lot going on. So I've put the support on, as you can see the fender support is on there, and that goes on the inside of the frame. I'm also trying to do all this without scratching the bike as well, the paintwork. Apologies, it's going to get a bit messy, but I've just got to obviously focus on not scratching the bike. Right, go around the other side and attach the other one. Now looking at this, I think, because you can't get a very good shot from the video, I actually think that these supports go on the inner here. So I'm going to try that first, because at the minute that is difficult and it's starting to snag and pull when you try to lift it. I'm just going to take that out. Probably leave it out of the way for now. Get that in place, and then we'll see where it can go. Just do the same on the other side. So the last thing I want to do after the amount of work I've put into the frame is I've had one frame from the States, as you heard me say, and then I've had to paint and powder and clear coat this one. Last thing I need now is to, on the last stretch, is to start damaging the bike. That's sort of in place, I think. Screwdriver. Right. Then we'll try again with this support bolt and see if that fits in there. So that's the first side done. So nip that up. I'm going to go fairly tight. Try and get this other side in, so I'm going to just disappear to the other side while I get that locked in. Now I'm probably going to have to loosen that off a little bit when I put the chain on and to set the coaster arm on, but what I want to do first is kind of mock it, set it all up, and then I can just do the fine adjustments after. So that's basically got the back end done. I'll take you in for a closer shot of it in a bit, but that's got it where I need it to be and looks as it does in the video. I need to just lower the seat down, it's just sat up a little bit, but I can take a little bit more down on the seat post. So we're getting there. I think all that's left really, there's a chain guard and chain to go on, which is easy. The front handlebars, which will be done. The pedals, I'm just going to have to check, because I keep trying to find the pedals, but obviously in the video you don't really get to see them very often, especially without, you know, without anybody's foot on it. So I'm just going to see what I've got. I think I've got the correct set, but I just want to verify that before I put them on. So I think basically now, the handlebars I can't put on just at the minute because it's on the stand, but I've got the handlebars and the grips, they're going to be quite easy. I'll just see what other parts there are and I'll bring you back. Right, so what we'll do is now we'll get, the bike has a Cyclops light on, standard Cyclops light, bracket. The bracket on this one's not the best, I'll be honest, it is aftermarket. It's not as good as a standard one, but it's what we have at the moment, and then we can look to change that after. So I'm just going to put it on and put it kind of just a little bit better than hand tight, because I still need to be able to get the bars through. I just don't want it to fall off, that's all. So that's on, and then when the bars go on, that completes that. I'm going to look for a chain. I've got a guard, I just need to find some screws, and the pedals. We need to get those, and then I think we're going to end up having to take it down off the stand so we can get the handlebars on and the grips, and then it'll be kind of, we're getting near the end. So I'll just take go and get a brew or something for a couple of seconds while I go and find the pedals. Right, so I found a few parts out. I'm missing a split link chain. Don't know if I've got some in other boxes somewhere, but basically to fasten the two ends of the chain together you should have this piece, which is sort of the pins on it, then you have a cap like that goes over it, and then you have a little clip that fastens it together. I can't find the clip. As I say, the workshop's in such a state, it's probably fell out, it's in another box somewhere, a little packet. So I'm just going to put the chain on, put the link through, so I can at least get a gauge of the tension of it, and I can set the back wheel, and then I can always put the clip on after. So I'm just going to go the other side, feed the chain through. Like I say, this shall hold it, it just can't really ride it without this, without that circlip pin. but it'll do what I need to do just to set the chain up, the tension up. A bit tight that. Sure the wheel's central. Get that set. It's these last bits that worry me when you, because this is when I can slip and we can end up damaging something, the paintwork or something. Better. The purpose, if anybody's wondering if you get a bike where this piece is missing, this is just a stay. It just allows the coaster arm, when you're braking, not to pull away or go round the frame. It stops it moving. So you may get one where this is missing, and what you'll find out is if you brake hard, it might end up this over time will either kick up or go round, and you end up damaging the bike. So that's on. Back end is complete. We need to just get the chain split link, which I might just have to order one. I think what I'll do is I'm going to put the chain guard on because it does finish it, and I do know I need to get that part, but I can still add that afterwards. So I've got, just get a cloth on this one. So I've got a chain guard. It's got dusty while it's been sat waiting for me to get to it. As you can see, it comes up well. And this is held in place with two little Phillips screws. You can see that there. There's two of those. One behind the crank, and then one at the back. And the other one. Right, I think we're ready to get this off the stand. I think I'll try and get it set up. I don't know if I can do it in here, or I might have to go outside, just down to, as we say, the space. But I think what I'll do is I'll get the handlebars on, and I think then we're done. It's the big reveal. So let's get that done. So I've bolted the pedals on, as you can see, and there, and also the sort of sissy bar antenna. Apologies, cars going past. But that's now done. So if anybody wants to put comments below, tell me what video it's from, and then I'll probably release it again. I'll probably do just I'll probably put a post up there in the title there and just give you that, but it'd be just fun, for a bit of fun. Who was the artist and what was the video, and the name of the song that this was in. And then I'm going to contact the new owner of this bike, because it's a commission for somebody, and let them know it's done. I'm pretty sure they'll be happy. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So like I say, all the parts are correct. Yeah, it's a really nice looking bike now, that. So I'd like to wrap it up now. thank you for being with me as always. If you've enjoyed it, please tick like. I think it helps me out somehow. And if you want to see progress on this and the other builds, such as in there we've got the beetle sticking its nose out and other things, please subscribe. So once again, thanks for being with me while I've been spannering, and I'll catch you next time.